An avid Pats fan. We never could convince him to go otherwise. You know, there was nothing wrong with the Giants, but Mike wouldn't have any, wouldn't even hear of it. And he also loved riding his motorcycle. But as that was Mike as an adult, and I really want to give you my perspective of Mike as a younger child. So growing up, it's common for kids to constantly ask why. Mike was no exception. The only difference is he never stopped. It was always why, or a variation of why. He continuously wanted to understand. So when we were little, it was, why is the dirt that color? And why can't I hold the cat? Why can't I fish? Why do you want to go swimming? Why don't you like fishing? Why do you want to watch that movie again? And why do you get to hold the dog? Best of all, and one of the universal questions as kids is, why do I have to go to school? And as we grew up and we became parents ourselves, the questions turned into, why do our kids want to be online so much? Why don't the kids listen to me? Why don't they want to go to school? And he never saw the irony there. And how do we get through this? So you're getting the idea. It was question, question, question. So as his sister, and along with most of the people that he asked, we tried to answer those questions as best we could. Eventually, we would end up defaulting to, because that is what I said, or it's just the way it is. And Mike would typically go off, and after mulling it over for a while, which could be the same day, it could be a week later, it could be a month later, it could be totally out of the blue, he would start the discussion all over again if he wasn't satisfied with the answer he got originally. So as he got older, he not only asked questions, he also wanted to share information. And he would often call or send a text asking, have you seen this? Or have you done that? It was amazing to see my baby brother, all grown up, but still have that wonder we tend to lose as adults. And I think in all the pictures that we saw today, you could definitely see it. Mike never lost that wonder. So as the youngest of 6, growing up, he often had a captive audience available to him, particularly on the annual family vacation, which involved long hours in the car. It gave him lots of time to ask questions, and ask he did. All of the aforementioned questions, along with how much longer, where are we going to eat? And as the youngest, he typically sat in the front seat between the parents, where he would try to get mom and dad to side trip based on a billboard for some odd attraction he had seen, or the upcoming Stuckey's, and some of you may know Stuckey's, some of you may not, but it was a roadside restaurant type thing. And he always loved to go to Stuckey's and anything that got his attention. So as I look back over my siblings, and as I said, there were 6 of us, there was actually 19 years between us, from the oldest to the youngest. It's interesting that Mike, as the youngest, and David, as our oldest, they were very much alike. Almost like bookends of personalities of the 4 siblings in between. They both were very easygoing and at times had larger than life personalities. As you may have seen in the pictures, Mike always had a big smile and was a happy person to be around. He was all about the positives, or finding the positives in life. For Mike, being the youngest also had its advantages and disadvantages. More advantages for him and disadvantages for the rest of us. Our parents would often say it took them 6 kids to get it right, or their interpretation of not sweating the small stuff. The 5 older siblings' interpretation of this was, mom and dad are too old and too tired to fight this battle. Was it fair? Depends on whose point of view you look at it from. From the 5 older siblings, absolutely not. Mike, on the other hand, thought it was awesome. This attitude was somewhat of a concern as we grew older, wondering how he would turn out, but the Navy took care of that. And the boy that went in came out a man with a big personality, sense of responsibility, and a heart to match, who would always lend a hand to whoever needed it. It was during his time in the Navy that he met and fell in love with Karen, who would become the love of his life and soulmate. Together, they shared and faced life's ups and downs, which served to build and strengthen their love and family bonds. One of Mike's biggest joys and profound pleasures was being a father. Mike immersed himself into family, loving the title and the responsibilities of being a dad. And it was all the more grand when he earned the title of grandfather. His face would light up and his voice would be filled with pure happiness when he was talking about Michaela. He absolutely was in love with being a papa, and it truly was a role he was destined for. Mike, you were the only one of the 4 brothers and 1 sister that I could call my baby brother and younger sibling. It was an honor to grow up with you and to see you grow into the person you became. I did not say it near enough, but I was and I am so very proud of you. I will miss your smile. I will miss your love of life, seeing you live it to the fullest with no fear. Such as the time I dared you to go streaking around the outside of the house when we lived on Center Road and you did it, wearing the biggest smile when you came around to the front. I will miss your questions and listening to you wanting to make sense of things, all your whys and whatabouts. I will miss seeing your Facebook posts. I will miss messaging with you, and most of all, I will miss your infectious laugh and sense of humor. To Karen, Danielle, Christine, Michael, Michaela, Pat, Bill, and other family members, and everybody else who knew Mike. May his love shine through the darkness. I hope the memories of the goodness in his intentions bring peace and comfort to your broken hearts. I love you, my little brother, and wherever you are now in your journey, may you always have fair winds and following seas behind you. I think my brother Bill wants to say some few words too.
I know I'm in the cautious, you know we're family, but. Well, I'm not the same as David, our older brother, and as Michael. I'm a little more reserved, but I want to thank all of you for showing up. This is Express Michael, because Michael made family out of everybody. Didn't care who you were, who you wanted to be. When Michael decided to go in the Navy because he was following me, I was concerned because Michael in his high school years was kind of a little wild child. But when he come out of the Navy, we were working for my father at the time. And the one thing he said was, he says, I can't do this. He says, I have a goal of wanting a family, I want a house to raise my family in, and I want to have security for them in the future. I believe he achieved those, but he achieved much more than that. He achieved making everyone that he came in contact with almost family. He would give them the shirt off his back. I guess one of the things I'm gonna miss about my brother is calling me up at Friday and Saturday night at 11 o'clock at night to talk things over. And the other is seeing his Facebook post of all the brisket he smoked, all the chickens he smoked, and the big football party he was having that Sunday. Now I'm sure many of you have probably been there and have enjoyed those parties. And again, he had a love of life. He just would go out of his way to help people out, help people that were down on their luck, or people that he just met, and if they asked him for a favor, he was there to do it for them. So, Karen, Danielle, Christine, Michael Jr., you've lost a great man, and I feel your sorrow and your pain, because I've lost a brother. And it's a hard thing to get by, because I'm the last of the 4 brothers. And I just was shocked and amazed when this, or just dumbfounded when this happened. So, all of you, you need to cherish your families, the ones you love, the families that you make, you need to hold them and talk with them and be with them, because that's what life is about. Michael, wherever you may be at the moment, you will always be alive in my heart and in my memories. And brother, you will terribly be missed. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Michael I'd like to thank Kay and William for their kind words about Mike. If there's anyone else who would like to come up and share a few words, you're welcome to do so. Not? As both of his siblings mentioned, Michael was a member of the United States Navy, and in recognition of his years of service, at this time we will be presenting military honors. So I'd like to welcome the representatives of the United States Navy at this time.
Honor Guard, attend hut, forward, march. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United States Navy, thank you for contacting us to conduct military honors. During military honors, there will be rifle fire outside, and we ask that you brace for that gunfire. We will then sound taps. During taps, please join us in a salute or place your right hand over your heart. We will then fold and present the United States flag. On behalf of the United States Navy and the American Legion Rifle Team, please accept our deepest condolences. Thank you, and please brace for gunfire. Thank you. Please be seated. behalf of the President of the United States Navy, and a grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful military service to our country. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude our services for Mike this evening. Again, on behalf of his family, I'd like to thank all of you for your many acts of kindness during this difficult time. I'd like to extend a very special thank you to his siblings for their kind words of remembrance. Very special thank you to the United States Navy for their presentation of military honors. At this time, I welcome you to come forward and pay your final respects to Mike and to his family, and may you keep his memory forever in your hearts. Thank you.